father came to this country about 6 years ago. He worked as a shipping clerk, and he worked all his life. Never been in no social issues as far as Medicaid, food, none of that. My father had an accident, had a head injury, so we took him to Overlook Hospital. He had blood in his brain, so they had to do emergency surgery for him. Almost had a stroke. At the hospital, they said that he couldn't live by himself, he couldn't stay by himself, because of balance and plus memory. Because his brain injury, he have a speech problem now, he have a hearing problem, and memory is like, that's the worst of it. Because I'm afraid he might turn the stove on, and then gas stay on, go turn the microwave, or he might walk in, so I grew up my life to be here, and I couldn't just do it alone. So I'm trying to ask for some help. He had Medicare, but the Medicare wasn't sufficient because he needed secondary for any type of help that have to do with if he needed like home care or somebody to home therapy, and if he wanted to stay as in a nursing home a little longer, or anything else. Medicare was basically for him part of the hospital, and they had a big copay. And when I asked for help, it was like time after time, there's something else that's popping up, and time going by. It took us like basically 3 months, and like they push me over because every time I show them a paper, it's like in black and white, and it's being translated to something else. So that's when I call legal services and discuss with legal services what I'm going through as far as where I live and what I can provide. I've been providing for my dad, but I can't keep going for the rest of my life, and I need help. And when I explain the situation, and I send all the proof that required from social service, all the paperwork, all the proofs that I give them, and legal services read my case and accepted it, and they helped me from everything from there, and we succeeded. And I don't think we would have been succeed if I didn't go through legal service, because there was a lot of red tape that legal services knows that it wasn't fair for what was going through. I want to say thank you to legal services, because I don't think my dad would get the help from Medicaid or DSS, Department of Social Service, that he deserved. I think he deserved it because he never asked, and he said it's an emergency situation. And I hope anyone that's get through his situation, don't settle for no. If you know you're in the right, legal service, go to legal service or hire an attorney, whatever. If you don't have the money, check with the legal service, and they'll be able to help you.